dear Father, we acknowledge that wisdom and guidance come from you alone and that away from you we can do nothing. With reverence, we ask you to teach us to carry out our duties and responsibilities with patriotism, integrity, professionalism, excellence, and service. We thank you, God, for giving us the privilege to serve our country and our people. Amen.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين.
Thank you very much. You may now take your seats. Good morning, dear colleagues, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. May the peace, grace, and mercy of God be upon all of us today as we commemorate International Women's Day and International Women's Month. A Department Legislative Liaison Unit, in cooperation with the Office of Public and Cultural Diplomacy and the Office of Middle East and African Affairs, as well as the DFA, Muslim Personnel Association, are pleased to welcome you today to today's public forum entitled Understanding the Hijab. The objective of this forum is to help us promote public awareness and appreciation of the virtues of wearing the hijab. A multicultural society such as the Philippines promotes social harmony and greater respect for religious beliefs and practices. We will have a fireside chat which will discuss the underlying principles of wearing the hijab as well as overcoming challenges through the sharing of anecdotal experiences from our guests. We will also have a live demonstration on how to wear the hijab to be performed by our special guests. At this point, may I now invite the Honorable Secretary for Foreign Affairs, the Honorable Enrique A. Manalo, to deliver his opening remarks.
Good morning. As we celebrate National Women's Month this March, the international Islamic community will also start observing the holy month of Ramadan from around March 22. It is in this light that this public forum, Understanding the Hijab, attempts to bridge these two important events. The Philippines has always been at the forefront of upholding women's rights. With a proud legacy of having had two female heads of state, we are a country that indeed walks the talk on female empowerment. In the Department of Foreign Affairs, we are doing our best to live up to this high standard, not just in terms of a gender-responsive foreign policy, but also through many Filipino lady ambassadors that have served our country well. Meanwhile, the international Islamic community continues to be an important stakeholder in our foreign policy on several aspects. Many Muslim countries, especially in the Middle East, host our OFWs, while also serving as critical partners in our ongoing quest for peace and development in Mindanao. Activities such as this public forum spotlight another side of the women's rights discourse, especially as we are focusing today on the perspective of our Muslim sisters by learning more about the hijab, which is a symbol of their Islamic heritage. One of the goals of cultural diplomacy is to foster understanding and inclusivity. Every point of view is heard, everyone has a seat at the table, and no one is left behind. That, in essence, is the mission of the Department of Foreign Affairs, to promote and protect every Filipino's interest, regardless of religion or gender. At this point, I wish to welcome our guests of honor today, as they will share their valuable time and insights to inform us of their initiatives and advocacies for greater inclusivity of our Muslim brothers and sisters. The Department of Foreign Affairs stands ready to support legislative and executive initiatives that promote these advocacies. On behalf of the men and women of the Department of Foreign Affairs, thank you very much for spending your time with us today, and I wish you all a very fruitful event this morning. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Secretary. I have the honor and privilege to introduce our guest of honor for today. She is a representative for the 1st District of Maguindanao, and Cotabato City. As a member of the House of Representatives, she is the principal author of the legislative measure declaring the first day of February of every year as National Hijab Day and promoting understanding of the Muslim tradition of wearing a hijab. She is a Juris Doctor, Sharia graduate, and has a master's degree in public administration and has earned units in Masters of Public Safety Administration. She also demonstrates good leadership and quality in performing her duties and responsibilities and is also knowledgeable in Sharia laws. She was also a former gender and development focal point person in the local government unit of Sultan Kudarat, Maguindanao, where her pet project, the Salam Barangay Program, made their municipality an awardee in the year 2017. Ladies and gentlemen, let us all welcome Congressman Siti Sahara Baydimple Mastura.
Good morning, everyone. Secretary Enrique Manalo, Madam Pamela Luis Manalo, Ma'am, Assistant Secretary Adrian Bernie Candolada, Congressman Muhammad Khalid Dimaporo, Congresswoman Midi Kua, Deputy Executive Director Attorney Jihan Lepalil, Mrs. Maria Erlinda Lucille Padilla, Ms. Roselle Elizabeth Mir, Queenie Padilla. Ladies and gentlemen, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuhu. First of all, isang malaya at mapagpalang buwan po ng kababaihan sa ating lahat. Siguro unang-una po sa lahat, ang aking pagpugay at mataas na respeto, palakpakan po natin ang lahat ng mga kababaihan andito po ngayon. Happy International Women's Month po sa ating lahat. Our celebration of National Women's Month is anchored in the theme, We for Gender Equality and Inclusive Society, which sparks a renewed commitment to the advocacy. It also celebrates the achievement of 7-year theme running from 2016 to 2022, which was We Make Change Work for Women. Such theme emphasized the need for compassionate and harmonized networks towards gender equality and women empowerment. Alam ko pong hindi madali, pero alam kong kaya nating gawin. Walang imposible at naniniwala po ako na kung ano man po ang kayang gawin ng mga kalalakihan ay kaya din po nating mga kababaihan. Today, I give honor and recognition to all Muslim and non-Muslim women, myself included today, who found comfort and pride in wearing hijabs. We also acknowledge the fact that hijab is part of our cultural and religious expression and identity. And this expression of our cultural and religious freedom is a continuing crusade. I am a Muslim woman and a proud hijabi. Nananalantay po sa aking dugo ang Maguindanawon, Maranao at Iranon na bumubuo ng pagkatao ko. At bilang pagpugay sa lahing meron po ako, ipinagmamalaki kong ipinapakita sa lahat ang pagsuot ko po ng hijab. Ito ay hindi lamang isang piraso na kasuotan, hindi isang mahalagang parte ng aming tradisyon at kultura na dumadamit sa aming identidad at kasarinlan bilang mga Pilipinong Muslim. Tunay nga na bilang isang babaeng Muslim, ang pagsuot ng hijab ay ekspresyon ng aming paniniwala at kultura. Ngunit higit sa lahat, hijab reflects our way of life because as written in the Holy Quran, it is imperative upon every Muslim woman to guard her chastity and modesty. Ang pagpapahalaga po namin sa hijab ay refleksyon ng aming malalim at taimtim na pagtingin sa batas at relihiyong Islam. Beyond its fabric, hijab actually includes moral conduct, behavior, attitude, and intention of its wearer. Therefore, wearing hijab must be accompanied by hijab of the eyes, hijab of the heart, hijab of thought, and hijab of intention. Ibig sabihin po nito, ang pagsusuot ng hijab ay may kaakibat na responsibilidad alinsunod sa alintuntunin ng Islam, na sinasalamin po ng pagkatao ng bawat babaeng Muslim sa isip, sa salita, at sa gawa. It is their prevailing factors that House Bill 5693, which seeks to declare February 1st of every year as National Hijab Day, was crafted. Bilang isa sa principal author ng panukalang ito, ang pagsulong nating maisabatas ang National Hijab Day ay ang pagsulong sa kabuuang identidad ng kultura at paniniwala ng isang Muslim. Acknowledging the arrival of our committee chair, Congressman Dimaporo. Sir. Kasamahan ko din po sa committee si Sir Congressman Dimaporo. Isa rin po siya sa principal author ng Hijab Day. Ito rin po ay pagsulong upang labanan ang diskriminasyon sa mga kababaihang Muslim at gumawa ng ligtas na espasyo sa lipunan. Hindi lamang para sa kababaihang Muslim, kundi para po sa ating lahat na mga kababaihan. Ang saligang batas mismo ang nagsasaad na ang bawat isa ay may kalayaang ipahayag ang paniniwalang panrelihiyon at ang batas na ito ay binalangkas mula sa ganong pagkilala. Sa pamamagitan nito ay mas lalo po nating mapalalim ang pagkakaintindi ng relihiyong Islam at maintindihan ang kahalagahan ng pagsuot ng hijab ng mga kababaihang Muslim. This bill seeks to make everyone understand that wearing hijab is an act of modesty and dignity of Muslim women, as well as respect and appreciation for diversity in expression of oneself and one's faith and religion. We, therefore, wish to see through this bill every woman, Muslim and non-Muslim, especially our women legislators, to wear hijab even just for a day. Nais ko po lamang pong bigyang linaw na ito po ay hindi sapilitan sa pagsuot ng hijab. We only encourage women for as long as they feel comfortable to wear it, just like me and many others who found comfort and peace wearing it. tunay nga namang nakalikha na po tayo, mga kababaihan, ng espasyo sa ating lipunan. Kailangan ay ipagpatuloy nating isama sa lahat ng pag-uusap ang ating mga issue at huwag dapat makulong sa kahinaan ng kahapon. Tayo ay babae, matapang, hindi duwag, malakas, hindi mahina, matalino, hindi mangmang, kundi may mahalagang papel na ginagampanan at hindi babae lamang. Also, I would like to recognize the arrival of my Congress sister, Congresswoman Midi Kua. Let us continuously assert for not only equality, but equity. It is about time to deepen our perspective on gender and gender roles. Truly, we can't experience change overnight and in one snap. We need to collectively work hard or even harder to see change work for us. Let us be that change we want to see in the world. Muli, I am Congresswoman by Dimple Mastura, a mother, a wife, a sister, and a proud Muslima. Mabuhay po tayong lahat ng mga kababaihan. Maraming salamat po.
Maraming salamat po, Congresswoman Mastura, para sa isang malalim at makabuluhang mensahe para sa ating mga kababaihan. At this point, I'd like to take this opportunity to properly introduce the rest of our guests of honor for today. We'll start with the Honorable Congressman from the 1st District of Lanao del Norte, a member of the House of Representatives. He is currently the chairperson of the Committee on Muslim Affairs of the House of Representatives. The Honorable Congressman graduated from Brent International School and the University of San Francisco. He has held previously various key positions in the Philippine government as Governor of the Province of Lanao del Norte, Chairman of the Regional Development Council of Region 10, among others. He is a seasoned public servant with a long and extensive experience in public service. Ladies and gentlemen, Congressman Muhammad Khalid Dimaporo. Our other Congresswoman is the representative for the Lone District of Quirino Province. As a member of the House of Representatives, she is currently the Vice Chairperson of the Committee on Appropriations of the House of Representatives. The Honorable Congresswoman graduated from Ateneo de Manila University, both in her tertiary and in her master's degree. She has a master's degree in business administration and is continually active in socio-civic groups. As a legislator, she is deeply interested in the welfare of our senior citizens, persons with disabilities, and our uniformed personnel, and has thus filed related bills thereof. She is supportive of this administration's priority legislation. To this end, she has refiled bills that will aid the economic recovery of the country, such as the Guide Bill and the Philippine Center for Disease Prevention and Control Act. Let us welcome Congresswoman Midi Kua. One of our guests also comes from the National Commission on Muslim Filipinos. She is a graduate in college and in law of the School of Law at Ateneo de Manila University. She started her law practice in the year 2008 at the Quasha, Ancheta, and Peña Law Office in Makati City before becoming a public servant in the year 2009 in a local government unit in Mindanao. She joined the National Commission on Muslim Filipinos in the year 2017 as the Legal Affairs Chief. She was eventually appointed by former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte in 2019 as the NCMF Deputy Executive Director. This year, she is also concurrently holding the position of the NCMF Bureau of External Relations as its acting director. She is currently taking her master's in Islamic Studies at the University of the Philippines Institute of Islamic Studies. Let us welcome Attorney Deputy Executive Director Jehan A. Lepail. . 。  . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . Our other guest is a television host, entrepreneur, endorser, as well as an actress, a loving mother of two, and supportive wife of Senator Robin Hood Padilla. She has actively engaged in women's advocacy and empowerment programs and various socio-civic activities. She has been the beautiful face and soul who best represents our collective goal in understanding the hijab towards embracing a world of differences, free from discrimination and bias, the very essence of International Women's Day. Let us welcome Mrs. Maria Erlinda Lucille Romulo Padilla, or more professionally known by her screen name, Mariel Rodriguez Padilla. Also joining her is another multi-talented actress, a dedicated mother, and a youth ambassador for goodwill of the National Commission on Muslim Filipinos. She has captured the hearts of many with her inspiring words and unwavering commitment to make a positive impact in the world. As a mother of one, she knows firsthand the importance of being a role model and setting a positive example for the next generation. Through her work as youth ambassador for goodwill, she has been able to use her platform to make a difference in the lives of young people around the globe. Let us welcome Miss Queenie Padilla. We will now have our fireside chat. I'd like to invite our moderator, attorney Asiana Alexin Bangkola. She is a Sharia lawyer and a debater and has recently just passed the Foreign Service Officer's examination to moderate this portion of our program.
Hello. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good morning to everyone. Good morning to our treasured guests. Thank you very much for accepting our invitation. So, Congresswoman Mistura actually set the tone for this entire event, wherein she explained the deep and personal meaning of the hijab. And it's quite wonderful that we have different perspectives as represented by our guests here. We have, as mentioned by Congresswoman Mistura, mothers, we have legislators, we also have our non-Muslim friends who can share their perspective on what the hijab means to them and the similarities in how Muslims, whether they may be male or female Muslims, see the hijab. So to start things off, I guess I would like to pose a question to our guests. As mentioned by Congresswoman Mistura, recently a House bill was filed declaring February 1 as National Hijab Day. Congressman Dimaporo is also one of the principal sponsors of that bill. On the other side, in the Senate, a Senate bill was also passed by Senator Robin Hood Padilla. That would be Senate Bill 14110. So I guess I would like to ask, in your perspective, what is the importance of these bills? What is the importance of events such as National Hijab Day? And do you think that the Philippines really needs holidays or events such as those? Anyone can start. Yes, sir.
Hello.
So just to place it correct on the record, the bill that was filed in Congress, which one of the principal authors was Congresswoman Dimple, and also Congressman Mujib Hataman, has already been passed. Our target was to pass. I'm the chairman of Committee on Muslim Affairs. Our target was to pass the bill before December, before the SONA, so that it can reach the Senate and hopefully become law. Because this bill passed on third reading several Congresses, several times, and we're hoping that under the 19th Congress, we will finally have this enacted into law. Why is this bill important? It's actually a small bill, maybe not an important or major bill. But you in the DFA family, I would like to, I think, can understand it best. Because when you go outside our country, you meet the different Filipinos living in different parts of the world, America, Europe, different parts of Asia. We're all proudly Filipino. We don't differentiate ourselves as Cebuano, Bisaya, Luzon, Mindanao. We're all Filipino. But here in the Philippines, we have different identities. We have to ask ourselves, what does it mean really to be a Filipino? I'll give you my example. I know the main prayer of the Christians. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, etc., etc. Why do I know this? Because when I was growing up here in Metro Manila, I cannot eat my lunch. I refused to memorize that prayer because I told my teacher, I'm a Muslim. I was only maybe 5 years old, 6 years old, 7 years old. So what happened? You're under detention until you memorize Our Father who art in heaven. My father, amahan ng lalawigan ng Lanao del Norte, the eldest son of Sultan Samasyo, Sultan Muhammad Ali di Maporo, studied in a private school in Baguio City, which was actually an Anglican school, which required chapel every Wednesday. Every Wednesday night, hinahanap nila yung daddy ko. What was he doing? Hiding, hide and seek. He didn't want to go to the chapel. And what was his punishment? There's a piggery nearby. He had to clean the pig pen. This is the different experiences that we have. To our generation, Muslim Filipinos, we don't want that type of misunderstanding or discrimination to be experienced by our children. Which is why this bill is important. This is just really a bill of understanding. I'll give you another example. When we were doing the Bangsamoro Organic Law, which was a legacy act of the former administration, we had our public hearing in Marawi City. One of our members was Congresswoman Nancy Katamco, who's actually an IP from Cotabato area. And she went to the Islamic city of Marawi. We were there, me, by Sandra Sema, mostly Muslims, and males. She was the only female non-Muslim. And in front of all the people in the gym, even I found it strange. Like, for example, cultural differences. Typically, when you go to a Muslim area, the women are separated from the men. So I found it very strange and awkward that I was escorted to the women's side of but small things like that. So Nancy, Congresswoman Nancy, was a little bit, had a little bit of a culture shock there in the Islamic city of Marawi. And she was asking me, Kong Khalid, is it proper that I'm not wearing a hijab? And I told her, no, you're a guest in Marawi City. You don't have to wear it. But if you do wear it, it will mean a lot to the people here. Because it shows your respect to the people in Marawi City. It shows your respect and your understanding to our culture. So she actually wore the hijab. Congresswoman Ami Sangkopan was there and she was laughing because she had the hijab on wrong. We had a nice laugh. But, it was very touching that she actually asked me about that and wanted to wear the hijab. Eventually, that's what we hope this bill will be. We showed the Filipino people what our culture is as Muslim Filipinos, hoping that in the future it will be accepted. Do you have to wear the hijab, our sisters that are not Muslim? No. But if you do, we will be very happy and we will be very appreciative if you do, because it means that you accept us as fellow Filipinos. Filipino, by the way, is the only country that is not Muslim in Southeast Asia. That's what makes us proudly Filipino. The only Catholic country in Southeast Asia. Now you have to ask yourselves, as Christian Catholic Filipinos, what are Muslim Filipinos? How can we consider ourselves Filipinos as well, when that is the most important identity as a Filipino in our region? And that's why you also have problems of identity in the Mindanao region and the Bangsamoro. So these are things that we're hoping to do as legislator, our little part in nation building, that we will also have our stake in our country and our identity as Filipinos and our acceptance also to the nation.
Thank you very much for that, Congressman De Maporo. Yes, go ahead, ma'am.
Okay, so I would just like to add on to what Congressman Khalid just mentioned. For me, aside from this bill being an understanding, gateway to understanding the culture of Muslim here in the Philippines. I think it's also a bill of to show our respect and acceptance of our Muslim brothers and sisters here in our country. I believe that this bill, aside from showing us the respect and understanding, opens doors of opportunities for us as a nation to accept everyone as we are, and to lessen the conflict within. So that's all.
Attorney Jahan, would you like to share a few words?
Actually, I would like to thank our champions in the Congress. We have Congressman Dimapora and Congresswoman Mastura for these bills. These are very important to raise awareness and also to promote cultural sensitivity. Because in our office, we actually our intervention was requested for incidents of discrimination just because a woman is wearing a hijab. So she gets discriminated in the workplace or in school. So hopefully with the passage of these bills, this will be eradicated. And we support it. Thank you.
Madam Mariel, could you share a few words?
Hello, good morning. Actually, I think they explained it perfectly well. Thank you so much for that. So basically, the goal is to understand, to accept, and respect. That's it. It's that simple for me, and I hope that this bill does get passed soon, and inshallah, it will be passed soon.
Assalamu alaikum, peace be with you to everybody. Yes, I think they've summed up everything and explained everything so well. I just wanted to say that I have the same sentiments as Tita Mariel. I hope that this bill will be passed on so that it can create social harmony in our country and create a safe and inclusive environment for all Filipinos of every background or every faith, inshallah. And I would like to acknowledge, Congress Bai to replace me because I think that she has more knowledge and yeah. Oh, she has a flight. Oh, that's okay. I'll be happy to replace you then. All right.
Thank you so much for that. Thank you for all of your thoughts, which I'm sure really illuminated things for everyone here. Regretfully, Secretary Manalo would have to leave. But before that, sir, is it... Thank you very much. Before we resume with our Fireside chat, we would like to share a video from one of our very own DFA personnel. First Secretary and Consul Casey Sawajan, on the importance of the hijab and her own experience as a hijabi working at the Department of Foreign Affairs. And now let us resume. Another question for our panelists. I guess I would like to ask, in your perspective, do you think our sisters, our Muslim sisters, still face a lot of challenges in wearing the hijab, whether that's discrimination or anything else? And despite those challenges, especially for those of our panelists who wear the hijab, why do you still continue to wear the hijab? Anyone would like to answer or can answer?
Hello? Should I go first?
Please go ahead.
I continue to wear the hijab because it's part of my faith and identity as a Muslim, and I'm very happy to practice it every day. And yeah, it's mainly because I want to please my Creator.
So I am not a hijabi. I am a Catholic. I am married to a Muslim. And I see the discrimination because I have a lot of people who I am with are Muslim. And I see it. I see the discrimination every day, wherever we go. So, and what I see in these women who continuously wear the hijab, despite all these challenges, they're strong women. Why are they strong? Because even if they're discriminated, even if they're bullied, even if they go through all of this, but because their faith is so strong, they continue. I think what basically they want to do is they want to show that they follow their religion and that their faith is ultimately very strong, and I respect that. And I think that we all should also. Even though I am not a Muslim, it's just so inspiring to see these women be brave and strong like that to face this every day. Thank you.
I wear the hijab aside from the practice of my religion. I wear it because it is my crown. It is my identity. And contrary to what they're saying, that it's a sign of oppression, it's actually a symbol of freedom for me. Like when I go to a restaurant and I'm wearing a hijab, you don't have to ask, like, do we have to serve pork or pork derivatives or like serve you liquor? Because I'm wearing the hijab, so it's my identity. So it serves as a protection for me. So there, thank you.
Well, for me, I think definitely, I think a lot of women still face difficulty in wearing hijab because I guess not just wearing hijab, but I think in most places, if you're different, they always think of you in a certain way. So when someone looks different, they always not just Muslims, but in general, I think we can say that being different is always synonymous to having discrimination. So you're always it's always difficult for anyone to be different. So I think, as I've said, I really commend also the strong women that who wears the hijab to show their identity, and it's very, very good also that there's an awareness now for this kind of things, because it will also promote kindness in everyone, not just in terms of religion, but as I've said, for everyone who is different. So thank you.
Well, yes, and I also want to emphasize that it really takes a strong woman who knows who she is, who knows what her identity is to wear the hijab freely here, especially in mainstream Filipino society. And again, with this bill, it also, with us, within our family, made us understand the hijab even more. Because in our culture, the Maranaos, we wear the kumbong. Kumbong is a little bit in between. It's on and off. It's just like a shawl, So you're in Marawi City, you wear the kumbong. You go down to Iligan City, you bring it down. It's comfortable. So when we had our celebration of National Hijab Day, unfortunately, Congresswoman Dimple was busy in her district. And we were all men. So we were looking for my sister. We got my sister to come in and speak for National Hijab Day. The only problem was she did not know how to wear the hijab. So we're very lucky we found one of the staffs that could teach her how to wear the hijab. And that's also an example how the hijab is not strictly practiced here in Metro Manila, because it really takes a strong woman to proudly wear the hijab. My sisters, they'd rather blend in, especially when you're young and you're growing up here in Metro Manila in the 90s, early 90s. It's better to just to blend in.
It's a difficult process, to be sure, but as everyone has emphasized, it's really about free will. That's what makes it such an empowering gesture for those who do decide to wear the hijab. But before we continue, we would like to take a very short break so we can have a photo opportunity with Congresswoman Bai Mastura, who regretfully has to catch a flight. Ma'am, if you would please come up front.
After this photo, we'd also like to invite all the members, the female members rather, of the TFA Muslim Personnel Association to come forward for the photo opportunity with our distinguished guests. For her time and for her insights and joining us today for this activity.
Have a seat. At this point in the program, we would now like to take questions from the audience to our distinguished panelists. Would anyone like to ask a question? You can just raise your hand. Yes.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Rohan. I'm from the Office of the Financial Management Services. My question may not be entirely related to Women's Day and World Hijab Day or hijab, but I wish to share that a relative of mine who was studying in a VRM sister-run university was aiming for a Latin honor, but she wasn't able to get that honor because she's a Muslim. So my question would be, is the bill passed by our honored guests would have an impact on this case and would probably give a chance to this kind of case to be reviewed and for a regulation may be passed in the academic department, at least to give our brothers and sisters, Muslim brothers and sisters in similar institutions, who are studying in similar institutions and who are aiming for higher honors. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you for your question, ma'am. Please.
Well, frankly, as far as the bill is concerned, it will not affect that type of cases or scenarios because the decision of Congress, and I think the principal authors, was to pass a bill that will foster understanding so that hopefully in the future and our next generations, the identity of a Muslim under Filipino will better be accepted, in different parts of our country because, Muslim communities are sprouting in northern Luzon, here in Metro Manila, Visayas area. We're leaving Mindanao. We're finding better opportunities, better educational systems, schools. So the bill will not address that. We will not require it's not an anti-discriminatory bill. It's a bill that will promote understanding on the Muslim culture and hopefully will be accepted by mainstream Filipino society. So in areas where there is very little or very small Muslim population, we hope that at least the hijab will be taught to government agencies, to the Department of Education, so that hopefully in the next generation, the administrators, the leaders of those schools will understand, will be a little bit more sensitive to the cultural requirements or religious requirements of a Muslim Filipino. Secondly, what can be done about that? If it's a public school, it should not be the case. That would, because of the separation of church and state, and all, I believe that should never happen. But when it comes to private schools, that's a different case. I went through that experience. My father went through that experience. My sisters went through that experience. And unfortunately, the more premier types of education are run by the religious sector. So we kind of have to play by the rules. But at the same time also, I'm always wishful and hopeful that there will be more understanding in the years to come. I think the experiences of this generation is different from the previous generation.
Yeah, I would like to add on to that. I think, as I've said a while ago, it's not just about being a Muslim, it's also about being different. So maybe thanks for bringing that up to our attention. And then hopefully, as Congressman Khalid mentioned, that the difference in the previous experience of the past generation and the future generation will be different. And as more and more people become more understanding, I think even the private institutions will be more understanding of these things. But maybe I think we can also have more talks like this so that people will understand the Muslim culture and also the hijab culture, and then maybe from there move forward and be able to live with each other kindly. So thank you.
Thank you so much for that. Actually, as you've pointed out, the value of such a bill, which inshallah will eventually become a law, and events like this, as a facet of cultural diplomacy, really, it's to change norms, to foster understanding, so that hopefully incidents like that won't happen in the future. We have time for one more question. Would anyone in the audience like to raise a query? It does not have to be a Muslim, it can be a non-Muslim. If you have any curiosity as to the hijab, this is your chance to ask, perhaps. One more question from the audience. All right. Since no one is asking, I'll be the one to ask if that's fine. I guess a more personal or anecdotal question, since this is supposed to be like a casual fireside chat, right? I know that Congressman Kua is friends with a lot of Muslims. So I guess I want to ask you to share your experiences as leaders in your communities, fostering those interpersonal relationships with Muslims and non-Muslim communities. Like a personal story, perhaps you could share. Not just Congressman Kua, but everyone on the panel.
Okay, well, for me, as you mentioned, I have a lot of friends, and I'm actually very impressed, and I admire Congresswoman Dimples, because almost every day, I think she wears the hijab to work, and it shows us just how proud she is of her religion, of who she is, and of her culture. And for me, growing up, I studied in a private school run by the nuns. It was an all-girls school, and it was actually very strict. And so when I went to Ateneo, I was kind of like culture shocked because first of all, there were boys, and then aside from the boys, there were like people from the provinces as well. And it was my first time to meet all kinds of people and exposed to all these people. And I found it very refreshing, and I was very happy because during the time in my growing up, I felt that I was so enclosed. I felt so imprisoned with all these rules. And by getting to know a lot of people with different backgrounds and different cultures, it kind of like opened my eyes that there was a world to discover. And I think it's because of that, I've become very accepting of all kinds of differences, not just in terms of, not just religion, but beliefs. People have different beliefs, and I believe that we cannot force onto them what we want and what we believe in. And I've always respected when somebody has a different point of view as compared to me. And actually, with Congressman Khalid, I'm very close to his sister Aliyah. When she was in Congress, I think she was the same and they were the neophytes. And Aliyah kind of also made me realize that because she made us cuento the story of her and her parents' love story and what they went through, because the mom of Khalid was a Catholic and the dad was pure Muslim. So when I heard that story, I thought it was very touching and very inspiring for everyone, because as you can see, love is actually the common ground of everything, and with love you can accept each other's differences. And I believe that by accepting each other, we see the similarities also in the differences. So that's it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Attorney Jehan, Madam Mariel, Ms. Queenie Padilla, would you like to share a few thoughts?
I love everything that you said, actually, because I can relate to it. I can relate to it because I also I studied in a Catholic school. So my very first real Muslim encounter was my husband. And I was 26. So that was the first time that I saw someone praying 5 times a day. You know, si Robin would anywhere. For example, right now at time, he would go to the corner, he would lay out his mat, and he would pray. So before parang I was not shocked, but it was my first time to see someone be like that. You know, whenever we'd be on the plane, wherever we were, he would was that time ng prayer, he would pray. So, like what you said, it opened my eyes also. The differences, then you will see the similar. Everything you said, I agree with it because I am a Catholic, he's a Muslim, yet we're married. What binds us together? Love. Love is what we have, and with that love comes respect. And that respect is the reason why we now have 2 kids, and with that respect, I know that he also respects my religion, my traditions. At the same time, I also respect his, like Ramadan is coming up. So kami in our household, we're already preparing, magra-Ramadan na. So our other people na Muslim, magpapaalam sila, magde-day off sila, mag-aano sila ng 1 month. Tapos, you know, or mag-i-Eid sila, paghahandaan yung Eid. And at the same time, ako din, hindi niya rin ako pinagbabawalan na nagki-Christmas po ako. You know, kasi ako naman din yon. What I appreciate most about Islam that I learned is that there is no compulsion in Islam. Never po niya akong pinilit na, ikaw din, maging ganyan, dapat Muslim ka din. Never niya po akong pinilit na maging Muslim. But I see the good in Muslims. I see the effort that they try every day to show na we're not terrorists. We're just like you guys. It's just that we have a different religion. Kasi lagi nga yung sinasabi, di ba big deal yung hijab? Parang ang big deal. When you see someone na naka-hijab, dati parang ang big deal na why do we have to say na bakit merong World Hijab Day? Bakit natin kailangan pag-usapan? Kasi nga, nandun yung discrimination na ako po Catholic ako, pero yung mga nuns, hindi naman nila kailangan i-explain, di ba? Si Mother Mary, hindi naman niya kailangan i-explain bakit siya nakaganon, di ba? Pero bakit yung mga Muslims kailangan nilang i-explain? Di ba? Because maraming hindi nakakaintindi. So, for me, ang haba na po ng kwento ko, for me, yun yung maganda because I married Robin. So, mas naiintindi ko, mas lumawak po yung aking understanding and acceptance and respect, not just sa Muslims, but to all kinds of people, all kinds of religions. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your sincere thoughts. A round of applause to our panelists, please. At this point in the program, may we please invite Madam Pamela Luis Manalo for the hijab demonstration, as well as Miss Queenie Padilla, who would show to us here. Well, I'm sure for the female Muslims here, you already know how to wear the hijab. But personally, I don't know how to style my own hijab. I just like slip it on. So I'm gonna learn a lot, I'm sure. Siguro. Yes, ma'am. Siguro nakaset up here. Which would be better. Yes po.
Thank you very much, Attorney Alex, and thank you very much to our distinguished panelists. For our live demonstration, may we ask, except for Ms. Queenie Padilla, may we ask our honorable guests to please return to their seats to give way to our models. Uh, May we also invite Congresswoman Maidi to also come up front to also be one of our models. We will have our assistants from the Muslim Personnel Association also to assist in demonstrating how to wear the hijab. as we're having our hijab demonstration. I'd also like to take this opportunity that the Honorable Congresswoman Bai Dimple Mastura has so generously provided some hijabs also that she wants to distribute to the members of our audience. So we will have those distributed in a while. We also have a photo booth outside, so if you want to wear the hijab as a sign of solidarity with our Muslim brethren, you can take a picture with them outside. Of applause to our models and to our guests who have demonstrated how to wear it. We'd like to invite the members of the DFA Ladies Foundation to please come up in front for a photo with Madam Pamela, who is also the chairperson, the chairperson of the DFA Ladies Foundation. Thank you very much once again, Madam Manalo, Congresswoman Kua, Madam Queenie, for the demonstration. At this point, I'd like to invite once again our distinguished guests to come up on stage for the awarding of certificates and tokens of appreciation. May I invite Assistant Secretary for Middle East and African Affairs, the Honorable Mardomel Celo D. Melicor, to award the certificates and tokens to our guests. So to receive the token on behalf of our guest of honor, Congresswoman Bai Dimples Mastura, may we ask for the representative from her office to please come up and receive the token of our appreciation. And I'd like to ask the Honorable Congressman Khalid Dimaporo to please come up to receive the token of appreciation.
And show your customers that you mean business. Get your professional email at godaddy.com.
We'd like to invite the Honorable Congresswoman Maidi Kuwa to please come up on stage and receive a token of appreciation. Next, we'd like to invite Deputy Director, Attorney Jehan Lepail to come up on stage and receive the token of appreciation. We'd like to invite Madame Mariel Padilla to please come up on stage and to receive the token of appreciation. Finally, we'd like to ask Ms. Queenie Padilla to please come up on stage and receive the token of appreciation. Thank you very much, distinguished guests and Assistant Secretary Malicor. May I now invite Assistant Secretary for Public and Cultural Diplomacy, the Honorable Arvin R. De Leon, to deliver the closing remarks.
Isang mapagpalang umaga sa inyong lahat. Good morning to all. I will keep this short and simple because all our panelists have said about this, about the hijab. Masasabi ko lang po when ASEC Candolada offered my office, the Office of Public and Cultural Diplomacy, to co-sponsor this activity, I accepted readily. I'm very new to my job. I just arrived 1 month ago from Istanbul. At doon po, nakita ko how the hijabis and the non-hijabis blend together and they live harmoniously. And isa pa hong dahilan kung ba't ko na-accept ito ay because I myself understand so little about the hijab. And I think it's very important in my work, in our work as diplomats, to have this awareness about the different aspects of our culture. Awareness, I think, is the seed of understanding. And with understanding comes respect and tolerance. So I guess this is our part in the DFA to spread awareness about the different aspects of our culture. And the Office of Public and Cultural Diplomacy is all ready to organize with all offices to keep awareness on the different aspects of our culture. Kasi nga, sinasabi ko sa inyo, cultural diplomacy na sinabi ni Attorney Bangcola really is to change norms, is to make people realize that, there are different aspects of our culture that need to be understood. Ang kaibahan lang po sa Department of Foreign Affairs is that we go abroad, as Congressman Dimaporo said, when we go abroad, we need to also open the minds of the foreign publics. So it's very, very important yung mga ganitong event po. Very, very important na we organize. And in fact, tomorrow naman po, as I will promote, meron po kaming opening ng exhibition about women empowerment as well kay Senator Pecson ng Pangasinan. Ang takeaway ko po dito sa event na ito is that hijab is not only an expression of faith, it's also an expression of empowerment, definitely. And it's also, ang pinaka-ano po is protection. Pero ang umano po sa isip ko is yung hijab of the eyes, the mouth, the heart, and the ears. Yun po yung kulang pa po ba yung sinabi ko na senses, pero yun po yung talagang umano po sa isipan ko. So, on behalf of Secretary Manalo, I would like to thank everyone, especially our panelists, our guests, and everyone here who attended this event. Madam Pamela, thank you very much for gracing this occasion. And all our colleagues in the Foreign Service, naka-live stream po ito sa different posts po natin all over the world. So thank you very much po and magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Salamat po.
We'd also like to take this opportunity to express our appreciation to Madam Pamela Manalo, who so graciously and so willingly participated in the demonstration as well. I'd like to ask Assistant Secretary Melicor to also give Madam Manalo a token of our appreciation. Thank you very much once again, Madam Manalo and Assistant Secretary Melicor. This concludes our public forum. On behalf of the Department Legislative Liaison Unit, the Office of Public and Cultural Diplomacy, the Office of Middle Eastern and African Affairs, and the DFA Muslim Personnel Association, we would like to thank everyone for joining us in this event. We now invite everyone to please partake of some snacks consisting of traditional Filipino food, including food from Maranao and Tausug, food from the southern Philippines. Thank you very much and mabuhay po tayong lahat. I would also like to announce that our snacks are on the mezzanine floor. Our protocol officers will assist you in going upstairs. Thank you very much.